Hoia Baciu Forest of Transylvania. Outside of Romania, Transylvania is associated with vampires, particularly in the English-speaking world. The vampire legend is not as well known in Romania, where Vlad Dracul, also known as Vlad the Impaler, is revered as a national hero. However, Transylvania is perhaps best known for having one of the world's scariest forests. Additionally, this forest is close to the nation's oldest Neolithic archaeological site. Whether justified or not, the Hoia Baciu forest has earned the moniker of Romania's, and perhaps all of Eastern Europe's, Bertha Triangle. Archaeological sites and the origins of human settlement in proximity to Hoia Forest. Aside from paranormal activity, Hoia Baciu is well known for being a part of a wilderness area not far from Cluj-Napoca, a busy Romanian city. Along with being a recreational area, it has lots of bike and hiking trails. Gura Baciului, Romania's oldest Neolithic archaeological site, and an outdoor museum are two more adjacent attractions. Gura Baciului was established around 6500 BC. It's connected to the Starsvo Chorus Chris archaeological complex, which most researchers think houses some of Europe's first farming communities. Because of this, the location is important for comprehending the introduction of agriculture to Europe and the extent to which immigrants from Anatolia influenced the genetic makeup of contemporary Europeans. The Proto-Sesclo culture in Greece started raising livestock and cultivating crops that had been domesticated in the ancient Near East approximately 9,000 years ago. The use of Middle Eastern domesticates spread throughout Europe throughout the following several millennia until farmers made up the majority of the continent's population. The spread of Middle Eastern agriculture and technology throughout Europe is explained by two main theories. One theory holds that Anatolian farmers brought their agricultural skills to Europe and eventually drove out or assimilated the pre-existing populations of hunter-gatherers. The demic diffusion model is this. The alternative theory holds that the genetic makeup of European Neolithic populations was largely unaffected by Anatolian settlers. In this instance, ideas rather than people were migrating. The cultural diffusion model looks like this. Based on genetic and archaeological data, it was most likely a mix of the two, with the dominance of either cultural or demic diffusion varying depending on the location and period. Gura Baciului and its importance in archaeology. The Gura Baciului archaeological site holds great significance in this region since it is thought that people with Neolithic ideologies were among the first to settle in Transylvania, Europe. It is thought that the Proto-Sesclo Neolithic culture of the Aegean, which progressively extended across the Balkans into Central Europe, is the source of the Starsvo Chorus Chris archaeological culture. The Neolithic farmers who arrived from the east and south and the pre-existing hunter-gatherers who lived in the plains to the west most likely intersected at Gura Baciului. The relationship between the Gura Baciului people and contemporary Romanians is unclear. A later wave of Anatolian settlers may be more closely related to modern Romanians. Gura Baciului was situated at a crossroads of ecology as well. Transylvania, which comprises the western central region of Romania, is situated near the border between two distinct topographic and ecological zones, the Hungarian Plain, which stretches nearly to Vienna, to the west, and the hills to the east, which are covered in old oak forests. During the Miocene and Pliocene eras, the Pannonian Sea shaped the plain. Historically, the spring and summer seasons brought flooding to the Hungarian Plain, and before the 18th century, it's possible that a third of the plain was covered in marshlands and swamps. These wetlands would have been home to red and roe deer, wild boars, waterfowl, and wild cattle in prehistoric Europe. The steppes that made up the drier portion of the plain were home to lions, wild horses, and onagers. Hoia Baciu's contemporary image as a paranormal hotspot. The wilderness area surrounding Cluj-Napoca is associated by archaeologists with early European and Neolithic farmers, but the locals associate it with something darker. The Hoia Baciu forest, located outside of Cluj-Napoca, is referred to as Romania's version of the Bermuda Triangle. The forest has developed a reputation over time for being home to unseen entities, a UFO sighting, and a location where cultists create portals to other dimensions. According to legend, the forest was given the name Hoia Baciu after a shepherd of the same name vanished into the woods while leading 200 of his sheep. According to rumors, biologist Alexandru Sift photographed what appeared to be a disc or flying saucer hovering over the forest in the late 1960s. Emil Barnea, a military technician, is credited with taking the UFO photo in 1968. It is said that since he stood to gain nothing, he had no incentive to fabricate the tale. At the time, the paranormal was seen by the communist government as a sign of insanity and a threat to the state. The forest was said to be a hub for UFO activity in the 1970s. The forest has also been the subject of other bizarre legends. In one tale, a young child vanished for 5 years before popping up somewhere else and having no memory of her previous whereabouts. Another story describes seeing more than 60 people attempting to enter another dimension through a portal. In addition, reports of strange lights in the forest, footsteps from shadowy figures heard, faces and photos that appear to be non-existent, and female voices or laughter have all been made. It has earned the title of being the creepiest forest in the world thanks to tales like these. In addition, individuals who have entered the forest claim to have experienced nausea, odd rashes, inexplicable exhaustion, and a sense of being observed. Additionally, some people report missing time but deny any memory of their activities during that period. The flora is also peculiar. Experts, at least purportedly, are unable to explain the twisted shapes of the trees. There are reports of mysterious charring on tree stumps. Owing to its peculiarities, the forest has been the focus of numerous media presentations on the paranormal, including a 2015 documentary that was broadcast in Japan and was based on trips into the forest. People can go on tours of the forest with tour guides, and some of them have even shown the courage to stay overnight. Overnight guests who are tour guides have reported hearing unexplained sounds. According to one account, every time they peered outside their tents, they heard a sound that sounded like a pounding hoof and stopped. The Bermuda Triangle and the Hoia Baciu Forest. The two most widely accepted theories regarding the peculiar characteristics of the Hoia Baciu Forest are that it is either a realm of portals to other dimensions or haunted. According to some, the forest is haunted by the ghosts of murdered peasants who are now trapped there and roam it in a state of rage. Similar to explanations for the Bermuda Triangle, another theory seems to be that portals to other dimensions are located in the forest. To help you understand what might be going on in the seemingly haunted forest, it might be useful to draw comparisons between the Hoia Baciu phenomenon and the Bermuda Triangle phenomenon. The U.S. Board of Geographic Names does not recognize the Bermuda Triangle as an official name for any region, nor does it have any internationally recognized borders. The name comes from the general belief among believers that it is a maritime region that forms a roughly triangle between the island of Bermuda, the Greater Antilles, and the Florida Atlantic coast. There have been reports of ships entering the Bermuda Triangle and never coming out since the middle of the 19th century. Throughout this area, at least 50 ships and 20 aircraft have mysteriously vanished, appearing to have vanished from sight. In the Bermuda Triangle, ships have also been discovered drifting aimlessly with no obvious reason for their abandonment. No wreckage has been found to indicate the disappearance of aircraft. Theories on the fringes of the Bermuda Triangle explain things like vortices that pull ships and planes into alternate dimensions, connections to Atlantis, and abductions by aliens. In many aspects, the Hoia Baciu Forest is similar to the Bermuda Triangle. Similar to the Bermuda Triangle, people have vanished from the Hoia Baciu Forest for unknown reasons. It's also a place where portals to other dimensions are supposedly located. The forest has a similar reputation to the Bermuda Triangle for UFO activity. Is it possible that both Hoia Baciu and the Bermuda Triangle are interstellar regions where people can unintentionally end up in different universes? Commonplace theories about Hoia Baciu and the Bermuda Triangle. However, upon closer inspection, many, if not most, of the incidents and the stories about the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle seem to have more commonplace explanations. For example, the majority of Atlantic storms go through the Bermuda Triangle. Ships might have encountered unexpectedly severe weather in the days before reliable weather forecasting. Another phenomenon thought to be caused by the Bermuda Triangle's conditions is the occurrence of rogue waves, which are abrupt up to 100 feet high. A ship could be destroyed by these waves with little to no trace. It is also known that the Gulf Stream can cause abrupt and severe changes in the weather. In addition, the Caribbean contains a lot of shallow areas that surround the islands, making it dangerous for ships to sail through. Compasses within the Bermuda Triangle may occasionally point to true north rather than magnetic north, which is another factor. This might have caused catastrophic navigational errors in calculations. In the days before accurate weather forecasting and dependable radio communication, all these elements would have made it simple for a ship or airplane to disappear, seemingly without a trace. More fantastical explanations are superfluous, as most disappearances can be explained by known environmental factors, although there may be something truly strange happening in the Bermuda Triangle. It should be mentioned that while there have been cases of ships and aircraft going missing in the Bermuda Triangle, the great majority of people who have traveled through the region have not. Is the Hoia Baciu forest in a similar situation? Could there be commonplace or natural explanations for the majority of disappearances and UFO sightings? It's true that there have been cases of people going missing in the forest, but since Hoia Baciu is a dense forest, hikers frequently go missing as well. Is it possible that the mystique surrounding the Hoia Baciu forest makes people aware of missing persons cases more frequently? Are the odd lights a result of an atmospheric phenomenon? Could the presence of a local natural hallucinogen be the cause of the ghost visions? Though this is also conjecture, shouldn't the more plausible and less bizarre explanations be taken into account initially when handling unusual occurrences? Notable for its unexplained paranormal activity, Hoia Baciu is also home to a nearby archaeological site that holds great significance for our understanding of the origins of modern Europeans. The numerous unusual occurrences that are observed there have left it cloaked in mystery in many ways. Regardless of whether these prove to be truly supernatural or natural, the Hoia Baciu continues to captivate the imagination, whether you are interested in paranormal phenomena or archaeology.